Hi, it's Dr. Ray, and I'm here to welcome you to week 3 of English 112 online. If you hear bizarre noises in the background, my husband and my twin 6-year-old boys are wrestling, which sounds unpleasant to me, but they all seem to be having a great time. Okay, so what do you need to do this week? You need to watch this video. You're doing that. Cheers. You're going to read a short story called The Americans by an author named Viet Thanh Nguyen, and I know it's spelled Nguyen, but it's pronounced Nguyen. It's a Vietnamese last name. In Gardner, you'll be reading pages 130 to 143, and be sure you get through my PowerPoint on introductions. I've also posted one on how to write body paragraphs. I've posted a sample paper one and a worksheet on writing a strong conclusion. So these materials are all to help you think about how you would start composing paper one, how a paragraph goes together. What are you writing? You'll be writing a response on Nguyen. I will go over that in just a second. There's a video here of him on an interview with Seth Meyers. He's also a Pulitzer Prize winner, and he has a very interesting personal story that relates to the short story itself. And then I have videos from my English 100 class. This one is on MLA formatting, what a paper should look like. The one below it is on crafting a body paragraph, and granted that may not be directly related to the same topic we're writing about, but the fundamental rules of composition are still the same. So, the short story, The Americans by Viet Thanh Nguyen, was published in the New Yorker. That's actually the same place I got the short story Cheater's Guide. And he does have a dense vocabulary, but don't let that chase you away from a wonderful, wonderful story. I would recommend just circling any words you don't know and looking them up. It's about a couple called the Carvers, and they have traveled from the U.S. to Vietnam to visit their daughter who's teaching English there. She has a boyfriend who's of Asian descent, and his last name is Legaspi, and the dad immediately has some issues with him. We find out the mother is Japanese, the father is African American. We find a lot about identity and race and history. The father did fight in the Vietnam War, and it's complicated for him to be in Vietnam, and he has mixed feelings about that. So it's a very layered, interesting story about identity and bias and racism and parents and children and all these wonderful different connections. So keep that in mind. When you click on the discussion board, you'll find we're not going to respond to each other this week. I just want you to take your time. It's a long story. So, take 6 days to carefully read through it, take notes, think about it, and then respond to my prompt about the essay. Make sure you're including your citations, ideally a mix of paraphrase and direct quotes. If you have questions about that, that's posted under week 2. I have a PowerPoint here on how to write an introductory paragraph, specifically for the kind of paper we're moving towards. And my goal is to make a video for this and post it later on today. But the PowerPoint is here if you prefer just to read through it at your own pace. There's also a PowerPoint on writing a strong body paragraph for English 112. I will try to make a video for this as well, and that would replace the one I've posted for my English 100 class. But again, the tenets of writing a body paragraph remain the same, whether it's English 112 or English 100. Moving right along, as I noted, there's a worksheet for writing a strong conclusion. So you would just open this up and read through this one. I find that you really don't need a PowerPoint because conclusions are concise. My best piece of advice is that you revisit your main ideas, you don't regurgitate. Regurgitate is like what a cow does, right? It chews up its grass, throws it back up into its mouth, and chews it some more. You don't want your conclusion to just take exactly what you said throughout the rest of your paper and spit it back to me. You want to revisit it in new language and come to a final original thought. So take your time with that. And as I mentioned, there's a sample paper that I would like you to take a look at, and right here you can see it, open it up. It's by a former student who said I could share it. And she's writing about Diaz and Nguyen, the story we're reading this week. So I wouldn't read through the sample paper until you've read the American short story in full, because you don't want any spoilers or to have her unintentionally shape your view of the story. So again, the only written assignment for me is to complete the WIN discussion board, and again, we're not responding to other students. My goal is to create videos on writing your introduction and writing your body paragraph, but the PowerPoints are right here for you to read through. And as always, contact me with any questions, and I look forward to reading more of your great writing.